If you had 100 George Washingtons, one Benjamin Franklin, and you were building a PlayStation 2 collection in 2022, what games would you pick? That's what we're going to discuss in today's episode. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Blueberry Lemon Tart Sour by Barntown. This is a gluten-free sour with blueberry, lemon, and graham.
All right, it's about ready to get all wacky and PS2-like up in here. You know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our crazy uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's build a PlayStation 2 collection out of $100.
You got the Outsiders, Kevin Nash,
Scott Hall.
and if you get a chance, you need to be watching Gaming Off the Grid.
Don't miss it.
Ever.
The series continues where we're building collections out of $100. It can be done in 2022. People say game collecting's dead.
Oh, but it ain't.
Today we focus on the Sony PlayStation 2. Such a vast library, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, and still a lot of freaking fun. And there's no way that anybody's played all the great games in the library, so we're going to build a collection out of $100.
Yes, and I think today we got 12 amazing epic games that are still super fun in 2022 for like barely less than $100.
Yeah.
So we jam-packed this thing full, a bunch of different genres, different styles of games, just to cover all the itches, and a lot of these games are still some of our favorite games ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's jump into the first game on the list, and that is Red Faction 2. This game comes in at $8.04
Oh, yeah.
CIB.
Love this game.
Oh, man.
Always loved this game. I think it's one of the best multiplayer first-person shooters of the era, which that's saying a lot.
It's definitely up there, dude. I love playing this game. It's available on other consoles, obviously, but it's just so much fun to play. The split screen element. I don't think I've ever played the campaign, but
I don't think I have either. It's really a multiplayer game. I feel like the fun part is you can turn bots on, which that was kind of a thing that you could do in Halo, and then you could do it on this. I think people wanted Killzone to be the Halo killer. Red Faction 2 is the Halo killer. It's not as good as Halo, I'm not saying that, but it is an awesome game. One, I would rather play it than Halo. It's not as good as Halo, but I would rather play it than Halo.
That's because you're better at it than Halo. Destructible environments. Yeah. The bots are randomly named, so sometimes they have funny names. It's just so much freaking fun.
It's a joy.
Now let's move on to a really great staple, Metal Gear Solid 2. And since it's cheaper, we're doing the Greatest Hits edition. This game is $7.97 CIB, and all of our prices are from PriceCharting.com. So Metal Gear Solid 2, ooh, banger.
I know people kind of were a little miffed when they didn't get to play as Snake the entire game, but this game, when it came out, if you played this game back in the day, you had the thought, there will never be a video game that looks this good. And this game is awesome. One of my favorite in the series. I'll never forget seeing it for the first time on PS2.
And you're like, holy shit.
Mind blown.
Dude, it's such a leap if you played the first one, and then you played this, you were like, holy shit.
And the fact that it's only $8, I mean, guys, come on.
One of the best games.
You gotta have it if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. Hell, if you have a PS2. I had tons of friends that didn't play the first Metal Gear, started here, and then their mind was blown, and they were Metal Gear Solid fans ever since.
It's such a badass game. Now let's move on to one of my favorite games of all time, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Yeah.
The third one I just love. I played it so much as a kid. This game comes in at $8.21 CIB. It is just the perfection of the straightforward, simple, 2 minutes, get in, get out. Soundtrack's amazing.
Well, it introduced a lot of mechanics that they reinstated in the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake that were born in 3.
Yeah, like the freaking whatever it's called. I forgot what that's called. Where you can spin your board.
Manual?
No. Manual is where you like the tires. Rivet.
I don't know. Rivet.
Freaking revert. That's super important. Yeah, this game is just so much fun to go back to. I'm really intrigued if they're gonna do a Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake.
Yeah,
because the 1 and 2 was incredible. So
but for now they haven't, and you can play it on the PS2 for freaking dirt cheap.
Yeah,
countless of hours of fun. This game can be a game you pick up and play for 15 minutes, or you can sit down and play it for 4 hours, and you're gonna have a blast
all the time. Yeah. This game is so much freaking fun. Now let's move on to a hack and slash freaking icon, God of War 2. Oh, staple on the PlayStation, staple of just Sony in general.
Most expensive game on our list.
Is it really? Yeah, this game comes in at $11.81 CIB. Wow, that's expensive.
It's crazy to me to think what people pay for new games, and there's someone watching this video that has never played God of War 2. And it's this game, the first one's awesome too, It's the original format of God of War. I know we've gotten a little more cinematic with the later entries and whatnot, but God of War 2 was mind-blowing. You were ready for it after you beat 1, and then it came out and it freaking delivered. It was more of the same, but better. Awesome
It's just,
game.
if you're a fan of hack and slash or like old school like mythology, you would love God. Like, these games are phenomenal.
Must plays.
Speaking of must plays, we love wrestling. And this game is so much fun because of the multiplayer element, and then even the storyline and the campaign is fun. And that's Smackdown Vs Raw 2007.
Yeah, so we had to really kind of split hairs here, and we went with this because it's one of the cheaper ones. If you wanted to get Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain, or a lot of people think that's the best, or the original Smackdown Vs Raw, they're going up in price a little bit. Not crazy, but 07 is kind of the last of its style. Things really started changing when 08 came around. One knock on 07 is they moved the grapple mechanics and everything to the joysticks.
Yeah, which is weird.
Once you get used to it, it's fine.
Yeah, but if you grew up playing them and, like, you know, playing every release, and then you're like, what? It was weird. It's still kind of weird, but once you get used to it, it's fine, and it's still a great game.
And these games, you can just sock so many hours into them because of the creator wrestler, because of the season mode, which you mentioned. There's tons of unlockables. You can unlock a bunch of legends.
You can just do 4-player multi-tap Royal Rumbles, or like, you just pick up and play wrestling. We love our wrestling games, so a wrestling game had to be included. Now let's move on to a golf game, because we love our golf games. This game is $4.28 CIB. Tiger Woods 07.
Yeah.
This is one of the cheaper ones on the PS2, and we just love all the golf games, and this one is just phenomenal.
And it's right in that pocket, I feel like. 05, 06, 07, you know, whatever. I think you could make an argument for any of those being the best. Things started kind of changing after 07.
Yeah. They got similar rosters, similar courses, you know, it's just, we love our golf games.
Yeah.
And 18 holes, it doesn't matter if it's 07, 06, whatever. 18 holes, we can play that nonstop.
Yeah,
Every time we have people over, it's like, don't play the Tiger.
Yeah, it's still this day.
It's so much freaking fun. Now let's move on to another sport. Hockey.
Yeah.
NHL Hitz 2002 comes in at $10.10. This game is badass. We are Stanley Cup champions. in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I think it's weird. Hockey is not my favorite sport. I would football, basketball all day long. But I think NHL Hitz 02 is one of the best arcade sports games ever made.
Especially the multiplayer mode.
Yeah, playing
It's fun.
3-player co-op
yes.
is so freaking fun.
It's fun single player, it's fun 2-player, but getting 3 people together and just freaking dominating, coming up with a strategy and just, dude, it is so satisfying.
Yeah, and you can just check people out of their freaking
That's my job
cleats
every
or
time.
skates.
Damn. I try to get triple digit checks and hits every time I play this game. It's so much fun.
Great.
Colorado Avalanche, man, they're
OP in that game.
they're beasts. We have to play as them. And another sports game, Arcade Finest, NBA Street, the original. This game comes in at $8.25 CIB. It's just arcade basketball, and it's just fun.
Kind of had to, because of price, we're trying to build a badass collection out of $100. That's what we're doing here. NBA Street 2 I like a little better, but the original NBA Street's great.
Yeah, it's still so much fun, and obviously it's a little bit basic compared to like 2 and 3, but still, you get your itch on basketball arcade, especially for super cheap if you're trying to like be budget friendly and stuff. It's just, I love these games, even though they're over the top.
We've said it before, but I think Gen 6 is the apex of arcade sports games.
Yeah.
You had Midway kind of on their way out, so they got the Blitz going on, they got the Hits going on, they got the Slugfest going on. Then you got EA Big doing NFL Street, NBA Street, SSX Tricky, all that type of stuff.
Which are incredible.
Yeah, there's a FIFA Street game. Anyway, it was an awesome time.
Now let's move on to a first-person shooter. This game is one of my favorite games of all time. I played this so much growing up. The campaign is incredible, but then multiplayer is still where it thrives today. Split screen 4-player versus 007 Nightfire.
Good one.
This game is incredible. We did the Greatest Hits edition because it's cheaper. It's $9.29, and that's actually the version that we have.
Yeah.
From when I was a kid. I cut James Bond out the back. I don't know why, don't ask. Maybe he was on my wall for a little bit. I don't know. But this game is incredible. This is like one of those games where I know the map so well, I can like kind of cheat and like win, and I know where everything's at, and I just love this game.
It's way more fun playing this game without Robert. That's for sure.
That's how I feel when we play Red Faction, dude.
One of these days.
This game is freaking incredible. It's one of the best Bond games ever made, dude. It is so good.
Game that I still think is one of the best in the series is Madden 05.
Ooh, wow.
When the hit stick came in, I felt like it really balanced things out because the year before, in 04, they had the Playmaker. And then, the next years you got the truck stick. So I don't know what Madden you folks think is the best, but 05, I loved that game. I still love that game. It's still fun to have a franchise in it. You might be thinking you're not playing Madden 05. Oh, yes, I do. I think the Madden games, you can start a franchise and just play for so long and build your team and draft. And
the soundtrack's pretty epic in 05.
It is. And the franchise was the best. It's never been as good, the franchise hasn't, as it was in this era. When they went on to Gen 7, it got worse. They took shit out. They never got it quite right. Modern Gen franchise, not as good as this era.
He plays it all the time, though, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. It was great. I think you should have Madden 05, and I would piggyback that. It's about a $5 game.
Yeah, Madden 05, $5 CIB, which isn't bad.
Another $5 game. Actually, $4.84 game is a game I do play way more than Madden, actually. I play it almost daily, and that's MLB 08 The Show.
Dude,
$4.84.
He's been playing this game for years.
My franchise has been going since like 2009. It's out of control.
He's always like, let me just play a couple innings. Let me just let me trade in and see if I can get a jet. There's so many things you can do in this, and it's just endless,
It's robust. I'll never need another baseball game.
Who are you playing as? The Brewers?
The Brewers, yeah.
The freaking Milwaukee Brewers.
I play every game of every season.
We got one more game to talk about. This game is kind of expensive, $10.44 CIB. And it's an incredible freaking game, arguably one of the best in the series. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Holy shit, dude, this game is awesome.
These Grand Theft Auto games changed the game. They're the blueprint for what we have today. Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably the most successful video game ever.
Yeah, I have to think it's thriving.
I mean, it was on PS3. I think it was on 360, PS4, Xbox One. I think it's on PS5 now. I mean, just
the online servers are still thriving.
But I think a lot of Grand Theft Auto, I've always felt like you have maybe one or two games in you. And I think somebody watching this may say, nah, San Andreas was my game. I connected more with that 80s vibe. I love that kind of cocaine cowboys like era. So I connected with it. I did like San Andreas, but Vice City, it got too much. Like, I had to go work out and eat and shit. And I'm like, I don't want to do that in my video game. I got to do that in real life. Just let me drive around and fuck around,
kill people.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to play this game all the time, but I never, when I was a kid playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, I never played the story because I was just so enamored with the fact that you could just go around and kill people.
Yeah.
Or like the cheats. I remember getting like tanks and stuff, and I was like, what is this game? I remember, like, as a kid, I was like, this is incredible. The soundtrack, the radio in this game is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Vice City is a staple. And I think, dude, what is that, 12 games for a total of $99.16? That's a freaking badass list of games.
Must have been something you say, huh? That's pretty good. Yeah, it is.
Dude. I think that covers almost every itch. Regular sports, arcade sports, first-person shooters, espionage, spy, sneaky.
Think about it. What is it? What'd you say, 12 games?
12 games.
You could get probably 2 new Switch games or 2 PS5 games for that. I would rather do this.
Yeah, this is incredible, and these games will last you forever.
Yep.
Let's talk about this beer by Barntown. This is a new one they just put out, the Blueberry Lemon Tart Sour. A gluten-free sour with blueberry, lemon, and graham. What do you think?
One of the best sours I've ever had. We had some friends in town when we tried this for the first time. Everybody's mind was blown. People who maybe love craft beer were there. People who maybe don't love craft beer were there. And everybody was like, holy cannoli. Yeah. Ravioli, holy cannoli, Hank. This stuff is amazing. The description on the can is exactly what it smells like, what it tastes like. You do get that graham finish. It's like just a good little blueberry lemon bar. It's amazing.
It is so freaking good. I've had this beer so many times in the past week since we tried it, and I got a bunch of 4-packs. This beer is incredible. It's just like, it is what it is. Like, exactly what it says it is, that's what it tastes like. And it's like, Barntown, how you guys freaking do this all the time?
Yep.
Everything I have from Barntown is incredible, and
they're climbing the ranks.
This is
one of the best breweries in the state.
I just don't know how they do this. Iowa. This is such a great beer for people that don't even like beer.
Yeah.
You know, that you just be like, hey, try this, and they go,
it just tastes like a juicy smoothie.
Yeah, it's just like a freaking sour. Oh, it's so good, dude.
It's fantastic.
Just
the PS2 is also fantastic. And I can't believe people aren't still going to town on it. I think it should be played still to this day. I know it wasn't the most powerful system in the generation, but the library is just so vast. It's amazing. I play my PS2 every single week. I think you do as well.
Yeah. I still got my original fired up.
Yeah. It's incredible. $100. What games would you pick? I know there's no RPGs on this list, and the reason we didn't pick any RPGs is we just don't play them these days because we don't have the time. We build a collection out of games that we would actually play. when I retire someday, I have a laundry list of RPGs that I'm gonna play.
We did look up like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 because
Yeah.
I used to play those back in the day all the time, and I think those are pretty reasonably cheap. So like around the $10 mark, so you could easily fit that in this list if you wanted to. Those are like the only RPGs I've really played is the Kingdom Hearts games, but whatever, we didn't pick it.
Just these days, just no time for RPGs. Don't hate them, just don't got time for them. But let us know in the comment section below what games you would pick to build a PS2 collection if you had $100. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you want to support the channel. It's future growth. Look at the description below and click on the Patreon link, huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We're done here.
What a waste of 5 minutes.
All right. Continuing on this series with the Sony PlayStation 2,
Yes.
Such a vast library, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, and it's still a lot of fun to play in 2022. This idea originated with
Russ Lyman.